the button. Press the button. Press the button.
Oh!
Back again.
Oh man.
Can you feel all that positive energy, Mike? All that sexual tension.
Like I say,
What number of episode are we on? What are we at right now? Like 100 and blah blah blah? Just kidding.
I think it's more into the 300 range. I think no.
We're in the 30s now. We're in a sophisticated 30. We're in our dirty 30s.
We're in our 30s, man. You feel a little bit more mature.
30s.
We're feeling a little bit more mature, but we still have
I'm
that wild
back.
side.
I'm not going home with every person I meet at the bar. You know, I'm getting into my cougar country. You know, what's up?
You know, you're trying to turn over a new leaf. Just subtle changes.
Just a little bit. You know, trying to make them work for it a little bit. All right. So we got another episode coming at you here today, Mike. What are we doing today?
All right. Yes. This episode of the Nissan Nerd Podcast, we learn that there is no love for the new Z in Europe. Also, Nissan takes its responsibility toward EVs very seriously, and we're going to learn how. And then later on, we're going to showcase some exciting new performance goodies that you need to know about here on the Nissan Nerd Podcast coming up.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about you. Let's get the crowd work out of the way and the nitty gritty. What have you been up to? Let's make it fast. All right.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care. You don't care. All right. Nobody cares.
Well, aside from that, we've been, what can I say, the last 2 weeks. I went to Dallas, had a concert to go to.
Really? How was Bette Midler? Was she still putting on the same best show?
She still got it. You know, she
still got it.
I didn't think there was a song I didn't think she was gonna do it, but in the encore, second encore, she came back.
She came back. She came back at it.
And made my
goose.
She was the wind underneath my wings on that one. Yeah.
Nice reference. Nice reference.
I had a dig.
You went to a concert. Yeah. Good. All right. In a life-changing experience, were you that person that did the flash, where you were on top of somebody else's shoulders? And
I was I was on top of my girlfriend's shoulders. Yeah.
Did you show your moobs or your man boobs to Midler? She picked you out of the crowd and invited you to the back. Is there a story?
As much as I would like to be, no. But seriously, no. It was a what was it? Mega Hello Tour, they called it. It's been postponed for months, years actually. Saw Weezer, Green Day.
Oh, you saw Green Day? Okay.
I did. It's been a while. It was good. Enough. Bette Midler. I think
you.
What's that?
Enough about you. News in 60 seconds. You're done. All right, you're over.
Done. How about you, man?
Concert.
Yeah.
Now you want to talk about me. Now you care about my feelings.
Well, I mean, I try to keep up for appearances. You know, go along to get along.
You don't care. No, not much, man. I'm working on things. I'm building things. I'm breaking things. Everything a good Nissan person should be doing. So buy more stuff than I need. Have way more crap than what I probably am ever going to use.
Yeah.
Boom.
Have at it, right?
World. Have at it. Yeah.
They say that if you're not breaking things, you're not doing it right. You always got to be pushing in terms of performance.
They mean that in sex. Wait, there goes our PG-13 rating.
There goes our rating, man.
All right. Well, we got a lot to cover here tonight. Let's not make this a trilogy to Lord of the Rings. Let's get this knocked out tonight. But first, we actually have to give a shout out to our Facebook folks that are joining on here tonight. I'm on. Haven't seen him come on in a while. Thanks, man, for showing up. He wanted to make sure everybody knew that he was Fizzity first. So
first to comment. Yes, sir.
First to comment. All right. But yeah, kudos to everybody. I know a bunch of people are going to start dropping comments in here tonight. We'll get to you as we see you. But thanks again for joining us here tonight. And this is the part of the episode where we give a little shout out to all our friends and family that are out there or can't be with us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give a little shout out and a salute to those in the Nissan family whom we wish good health, and those we may have lost and want to pay homage to them. Kanpai,
Woo!
Mike.
Kanpai.
Woo!
Kanpai.
Mm.
Let's get this started, man. Let's get this
Oh yeah,
started.
let's get the party going.
Ooh.
All right. Well, actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I got to stop the entire show, and I got to tell you about the biggest Nissan news that will ever drop. And Mike, I'm going to go ahead and take the steering wheel early on in this one.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Mad,
You're doing
right?
good so far. Yeah.
No, don't be mad. Don't be mad. All right. The biggest news to come out of the Nissan world.
Yes. I'm dying to know.
All right. Drop it. Share it. Share it.
Me? I thought it was yours. Oh, yeah, your screen. Gotcha. Yes. I'm going to share.
Come on now.
Boom. Ready?
Miley Cyrus poses pantsless in her new Miley Made Me Gay merchandise on top of a Nissan Armada. Mm-hmm. A Nissan Frontier, my God. It is true. I don't know if this is going to hurt sales, drive sales. It has not been determined yet. Yeah, this was kind of caught me off guard.
It was. Dude, you know, okay, so first
Miley Cyrus made me realize I am gay. T-shirts apparently are her pitch right now. I don't know why we're pitching these for her, but they're $45 on her website. But that is the biggest news that I had. And yes, I actually did my job. I did some research this week.
yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for all those out there who are in love with not only the Nissan Frontier, the Nissan Frontier and the Miley Cyrus woke people. Guess what? A new shirt has just been dropped.
Just been
Your
dropped.
Christmas shopping has now been resolved for you. All right.
Let's think about. Let's go back to those pictures, man. Let's go back to those pictures.
You want to
Don't
go?
worry.
No, we're not going back.
No,
to
okay, not. But what I'm thinking is, if
Uh-oh.
this had to been an impromptu advertisement for the shirts. It's like
It was.
what marketing guy? I mean, granted, again, it's multi-million-dollar, platinum selling artist goes out and says, hey, you know what? It must be her car. I'm going to assume it's their they are Nissan owners.
She rocks one of these. I heard she's a I wouldn't say she's a Nissan person, but I heard she rocks a Nissan. So from a friend that I know her, like we go.
I have a friend who's a stalker of Miley Cyrus. That's the one.
A friend of mine is talking. He knows every car.
He goes, dude, big time Nissan enthusiast.
Big time Nissan fan. So just throwing that out there. I know you guys, now that we've resolved this big solid news. Now I just thought it was pretty funny. And I was like just running through stupid news. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, of all the things that we don't want to be recognized for is the craziness of all the pop stars that exist. All right. Go ruin your career on somebody else's hood. All right. On your else's brand. Next.
Okay. Is it my turn? Is that what you're saying, Miles?
Yeah, go ahead.
News,
Yeah.
Nissan news. All right. So the article I want to share with you this episode, honestly, I'm going to say...
let me give you a solid Nissan news.
Okay. I got to adjust the old tie here. Yes,
Go ahead.
boom. All right, let me start off by saying that I found this article and I loved it. It's exactly the type of article that I look forward to for this podcast. And let me tell you why. It's not exactly mainstream. It's on the most, I mean, it doesn't even look like it's a mainstream website where I found this. It's highly detailed about a topic that's unpopular, or maybe typically the vast majority of people may not care about this, but that and it makes you look really good at dinner parties. You can just yeah, you reiterate the most minor obscure details in
he
either
says it makes you look good. I'm gonna say it labels you as a complete.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. So me, I'm there smiling and sharing the knowledge that I have. I'm this sponge that's just regurgitating things that I've soaked up. and then all of a sudden they just smile and slowly back away, at the mixer party, I'm
Yep,
like,
yep,
where'd
yep.
everybody go? Let me go ahead and get into it. Though. All right,
Hit me.
let's I'm going to add my screen here. Nissan aims to maintain a lead over Tesla and VW in reusing their batteries on used Gtir for their EVs. So
Are we talking like mid-cycle batteries that we're pulling out of these units and being repurposed?
yes, so you got to think about that. Nissan, any manufacturer could just sell you a car and not care what happens. Oh, it's your responsibility. It's, as a citizen to recycle the car or components. Nissan is going the extra step and saying, okay, we know these batteries have a life. Where are they going next? And so let me get into it. So specifically, we're talking about the Nissan Leaf. Okay, so Nissan CEO Makoto Uchida aims to maintain a lead in reusing these batteries. For a long time, the Nissan Leaf was the best-selling electric vehicle of all time. Nissan has sold more than 530,000 Leafs since its release in 2010. So you got to think about that's over 500,000 of these cars and 500,000 of these batteries roaming the earth. And this car, think about it, it's been out for 11 years now. So with that is a lot of responsibility. And Nissan is one of the only car manufacturers to have a vehicle on the road long enough for its batteries to reach the end of their car life, essentially. Does that make sense? EVs are such a new frontier, with relatively speaking, that this challenge of what to do with old batteries, this problem is just recently becoming more and more of a topic. Does that sound good to you, Miles? You following me so far?
Oh, I am. I am following you, and I would. So we're talking about a recycle and repurpose campaign is what
Mhm.
you're pretty much tossing down at me. All right.
Yes,
So
yes,
go
yes,
ahead
yes.
on your high horse. All right. All right. Just because I
Yes.
threw, my styrofoam McDonald's Big Mac cup on the road and made a Native American person cry. All right. You're trying to come at me with your reusable
Yes,
batteries.
yes.
What are
So
you going to
so
do with these reusable batteries? Come on now.
not what I'm going to do. It's what the CEO of Nissan's doing, and he's doing a great job, by the way. Let me tell you what he's going to be doing, though. But
I make complete kid of it, but it actually is a
yes, it's a
serious in
wonderful
the
thing.
world that we live in now. It is a serious matter that we do need to address for the future. But let's talk about give me some where's the gold at the end of the rainbow? Hit me.
Yes. Okay. So, uh, CEO Uchida is coming up with groups that are focusing on repurposing these batteries to give these batteries a second life, uh, essentially that are past their prime, so to speak. Just because these batteries aren't strong enough to power a 2-ton piece of machinery, automobile, it doesn't mean it's useless. So, uh, these multiple uses that they're looking into is essentially currently these batteries are being reused as being used to store renewable energy at convenience stores. I guess I would assume like your car with freezers or security systems. These batteries are being used for battery storage. Railroad crossings are being powered by these batteries, by these former Nissan batteries, and then also power delivery to robots being used at factories are being are having these renewed batteries, these Nissan batteries coming into factories. So like I said
Well,
earlier, Nissan didn't have to do anything like this. They could have just sold you a car and walked away. But they are truly concerned about the environment. And by the way, these lithium ion batteries, lithium being the key word here, it's an element that is not exactly plentiful. It's comparatively rare to pull from the earth and to process. So if we can repurpose these batteries, somehow rejuvenate them along the way, this needs to be a process that happens in the future for all manufacturers. So this article in general is Nissan leading the way in that direction of just being environmentally conscious and recycling these batteries.
Well, Mike, I'm very proud of you, honestly,
Are
for
you?
can I finish?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you for taking the lead on this. This is a very adult article for you, and um, I know you did tons of research on this, and I want to commend you for taking the initiative to uh, to bring up the education level of this program. Yeah.
I told you. You said it in the beginning. This is definitely a nerd article. This one here for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm gonna give you a complete solid yeah.
I take that with pride.
So kudos to you. Yeah, Mike. Very cool. We've talked about this numerous times. We talk about the alternative energy sources for the new vehicles that are coming out, and that just kind of proves to you what the opportunities are for these batteries in their secondary lives. Amon commented with something pretty good. He said that's a good lifespan. And comparatively, my RC batteries are changed about every 2 years. Both use the same type about the size of D batteries, but yeah, which is what he's kind of mentioning.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we're at the precipice. Big word, kids. The
Precipice.
precipice of what's happening with that industry and what the automotive industry as a whole. So you're going to start to see these batteries find their way, not just from Nissan, but we've talked about this in private, Mike, how you'll
Hmm.
start to see batteries like this. And then we've talked about Tesla and the output of what those batteries
Yeah.
do in their secondary lives when they're no
Yeah.
longer within spec.
Yeah.
So just like everything else that happened to Japan, for those that don't know and want to nerd out, all those people that bought JDM engines within the last 10 years, remember the reason why those JDM engines were plentifully available because they hit a certain mileage marker on
Yeah.
them. And guess what? The government actually made those engines
Hmm.
be pulled and either rebuilt or you need to buy a new engine, which is why there was such a plentiful amount of engines availability, and also the used market, which we kind of bought here in the U.S.
We benefited
So
from
kind of
it for sure.
yeah, so benefit. So we're probably at that point where we're going to start seeing secondary batteries. I don't know if they'll make their way across the ocean, but it may be a thing. It
Yeah.
may be sold to other third markets.
Well,
That
well,
may be a whole business.
true,
So who
true,
knows?
and I think but even from previous episodes, we've talked about Nissan and EVs, where Nissan just opened up or breaking ground on their was it in Sunderland, uh, Great Britain, that they're having
Yeah,
a
we thought
great
I brought that up about four
for
articles back
EVs.
where
Yeah,
they just dumped a ridiculous amount of money into a factory in the UK
yeah.
for the development of some of that stuff. So
So what we're seeing, like you said, is that similar to how we had engines from Japan, say in the '90s and 2000s, even currently, we're still getting them. Um, since then, these manufacturing plants and these Japanese car manufacturers are becoming more of a worldwide producer. They're not just made in Japan anymore. So I think we'll start seeing this, maybe even an uprise of even third-party battery repurpose or refurbish plants as well.
yep, yep.
And that, I think that's going to be a really good, a very green thing to do for the world. So
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Oh.
thank you for trying to assist on this one, Captain Planet. In the meantime, I want to mention a little comment. Mr. Sean Buck, of course, he replied with what he replied with. And he goes, "Of course, we can take these batteries and repurpose them. Sex robots." Keep it
Imagine having yeah, Nissan Leaf batteries powering
powering.
smiles
I'm
to the gallon or smiles to the charge. There, I don't.
How many smiles to the gallon for that sex robot? All right, moving along, and there we go. We're losing PG rating by the moment. All
By the
right.
moments.
All right, moving on. So you actually have a job to do, Mike. You got to throw a little bit of news in 60 seconds. Come on, man.
I
All right.
do. All right. So typically, what
Look it
we
up.
like
You're
to
the
do
guy.
is
You're
that.
the only guy I got that can do this. Let's do it.
That's right. I am the only guy that can do it. No more.
Yeah, until I find somebody better. Go on. Just
Okay, gotta earn my keep. Gotta earn my keep.
earn
Ready?
your keep. Earn that
Gotta
keep.
be
Earn
worthy
that
of my
keep.
salt. All right.
Let's go. Let's
So,
do it.
so again, just to reiterate, we want to do news in 60 seconds here. Essentially, there are always so many stories happening on a weekly and bi-weekly basis. We can't cover them all in depth as much as we'd like. So we're going to cover these. Essentially, it's a flash round. A bunch of details coming at you very quickly. We call it news in 60 seconds. You want to go ahead and time me, Miles?
I will time you and go.
All right. Add to what? Ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So the European Union has killed the 400Z. This comes from DriveTried.
Ooh.
Essentially, the new production Z will not be offered in Europe. Specifically, yes, there are specifically 2 factors cited in this from a statement from Nissan. They had said essentially that a shrinking sports car market and specific emission regulations mean that Nissan is unable to build a viable business case for the introduction of the production Z car in Europe.
You know what?
Mhm.
We're gonna have to stop being friends with the British. That's it, or the whole Europe. That's it.
You know-
That's it. You're out. You know why?
Why?
You're done.
Shame. Well, I was trying to think about the.
You got 5 seconds rebuttal.
I was actually pretty happy about it because this is actually one of the vehicles that America gets that other countries don't.
And you're
that
done.
doesn't happen all the time.
Next.
Boom. All right, next one here. We've
All
got.
right, moving on. Go on.
Also, as part of our news in 60 seconds, the New York International Auto Show has been canceled for 2021. This just was announced today. This article that you see is from Car and Driver. The reason for this cancellation is due to the COVID Delta variants and the increasingly stringent restrictions happening in New York City. Initially, the Production Z was to not debut, but to attend the New York Auto Show. Since it's canceled, not going to be the case. However, it does not. This cancellation does not affect the reveal of the Z car. The Z car is also being revealed in New York, but it is more of a private and at a different location. So it's actually happening 3 days before the New York Auto Show would have opened. So for those who are worried about the new production Z car and its debut, don't worry. The show.
2, 1.
I'm done.
Done.
Next one.
Next.
All right. All right. Give me a second. I'm trying to get my. There you go.
Come on. Hurry up. Faster.
Next one here. All right. Also from the Nissan CEO, Makoto Uchida, he says that Nissan cannot be optimistic about the ongoing chip shortage. This comes from CNBC, essentially saying that Uchida said that Nissan is expected to reduce its production by 500,000 units in 2021 as a result of this chip shortage. There are many complexities that deal with this. It's not. There are many factors that led to this shortage, so it's not a matter of more supply. It's multiple things. If you factor in increased demand, plus a pandemic, plus you have a shortage of factories that make these advanced chips.
10,
Many factories
9,
make chips, but to make them
8.
as advanced as these cars require, there are increasingly less chip manufacturers at that point. Now, by the way, personally, as a manufacturer working at an auto car manufacturer,
I'm gonna give you an extra 5 seconds because I like your face. Go.
As a being in the car manufacturing industry, I have heard that this shortage could last up until mid 2022. My personal notes from that. How about that?
Is that
Working
everything?
on it. No, I got two more.
All right, come on, let's go. 60 seconds.
Next one. Now,
And go.
All right. Now, despite what I just said about these shortages, Nissan still posted record profits in the second quarter of 2021. The operating profit reached $689 million for the second quarter of 2021. That's pretty impressive, Miles, if I say so myself.
Oh, congratulations.
Now, Now, keep in mind, though, second quarter for Nissan, the market analysts had predicted a loss for Nissan. And here they come back with close to $700 million in profit, operating profit. So that's a big slap in the face to any analysts that many of them got them wrong. So props to
You still
Nissan for
haven't got any
doing that.
money on this show. We're still rolling on a we're still rolling on a Bud Light budget. Come on, Nissan, throw us $5. We're starving here, baby. We're starving. But going to the notes, yeah, that's great. I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna stop the timer here for a second. But yeah, man, I found this article too as well. And you and I talked about this over the last 7, maybe 10 episodes. Right before COVID hit, we started talking about this. We talked about how Nissan was making changes for a business plan pre-COVID, and that they were going to be in a much better position when things started changing. And here we are. We're starting to see it now, baby. We're starting to see it. What is this, Q3? This is quarter 3 for financials. I've been watching the stock on them. They've been doing really good, especially after the announcement of that. I just
Yes.
Nissan, everybody, all my Nissan fan that listen here, you're doing great.
You're doing great. I actually did the numbers. I crunched the numbers before the show here.
Oh,
Yeah,
excuse me.
yeah.
Go on.
Since Nissan made the announcement of their profits, their stock has gone up 9% since then. 9% increase in
I'm going to
stock in
send
the
my kid
last
to college
4
now.
days.
Good job. All right.
Yeah.
Keep making money, Nissan. I'll get my money back. We'll put my kid through college. Good job. All right. Let's go to the notes here. And I'll let you plan for the next one.
All right. What do you got here? I'm seeing them here with you as well. Let's see. It's kind of
Come on.
PG or
Let's
not
go with, yeah.
PC.
Let's see. John Passergia
Papa
says sex
Sergio.
robots can make chips during the day. I'm assuming they make chips by the day. They have um, a secondary usage at night. I like where his head's at because, quite honestly, that's reuse and recycle. Moving along, Nissan could do a campaign: buy a Leaf, and when you pay for it, free sex robot. God damn it, Sean Buck. All right. No more sex robot talk. Hopefully, this next article, Mike, your last one, is not about sex robots. Moving on, I'm going to give you 60 seconds on the clock. No sex robot talk. Boom, hit me.
Okay. Surprisingly, this one has to deal with Ford, and you let me know what you think about this. Ford has patented the phrase "skyline" in the U.S., and of course, we all know that the term "skyline" is very much, in a legal grounds or not, the word "skyline" is very much tied to Nissan. So it was a little odd as why Ford would do this. This actually happened a day after that Nissan had filed for the Fairlady Z patent or trademark in the U.S. So it really makes you wonder why Ford, did this. It's either a either they're planning to use the name on an upcoming model, or they're just being a massive troll on the situation. I think I did see here that with this article that you see here from Japanese Nostalgic Car,
Awesome.
Ford did use the name, and like the last time they used it was in 1959 for the Ford Galaxy Skyliner. So it really is sort of a stretch. But I think overall, the lesson that you need to learn from this article is, as a car manufacturer, whether you're using past names or not, whether or not you intend to use them in the future, just get them patented, get them trademark in your name, because anybody can come in and just be a weasel and just take it from you in this, what I truly consider is just being a troll move. So we'll see in the future whether or not Ford actually uses it. Honestly, I think whether or not they do, the collective car enthusiast community as a whole will give it the how you said shame. They're gonna say shame on Ford.
And Nissan, come on, man. I mean, get all your stuff together, spend the $39.95 to patent that stuff for the year, and call it a day. Just get on the internet.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click. It's real easy, man.
So get it done. Come on now. You patent everything else. Let's get this done. So moving along. All right. But good news.
Yes. Now that concludes our news in 60 seconds, Miles. We're doing pretty good. Honestly, Now let's just say the last episode we had was literally our longest podcast ever, and here we go. We've
You know
gone
why?
through news.
You know why? Because
Why?
you nerded out last time, and we
We
nerd
did.
out all the
Like
time.
what?
That's what we do. So, but guess what? I'm not going to let you nerd out. I'm not going to let you ruin this for everybody. All right? All right?
Jesus, it's the nerd podcast. What else are we gonna do? But yeah,
All right. So moving down the line, we are keeping on track. We're staying on schedule. We're staying on schedule. We're staying on schedule. And with that, actually, let me take the steering wheel here, man. So I got to share
sure.
something with you. But it's not really
Is that it?
all that much difference. Uh-oh.
Is that
Uh-oh.
wrong one?
Oh, hey
No,
there.
no. Let him on. Oh, my God. We're letting 510 Bend Oregon on. What's going on?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show. So, you are a special guest on here today. Now, you are a special guest on here. Why? Because you have something cool coming up. You want to talk about it?
Because we have Datsun's Around Bend coming up August 27th through the 29th out in beautiful Central Oregon. Wonderful 3-day event. We've got a morning show on Saturday from 9 to 1 out at Over the Edge Tap House in Crooked River Ranch, Oregon. And it's a great time. It's a camp out. It's a get together. It really brings the Northwest Datsun community together.
Now,
Wow.
you have been doing this for 7 years now?
This is the 7th annual Datsun's Around Bend this year.
How did it start,
Wow.
man? Give it up. Give me the story. How did it start?
It started out just a camp out among friends. We'd all meet up at like the big Canby event. We'd go to Blue Lake and burn in the sunshine for a little while over in the Portland area. And we're like, hey, let's all get together and have like a camping trip and like not be so official about a show and just go have a good time for the weekend and still do things that we love. So that's kind of how it all started out. And Central Oregon is a really beautiful area, and we didn't necessarily want to do it in town, so we made it around Bend. So every year it's in a different location somewhere in Central Oregon so that folks can come out to Central Oregon and really check out the area and get a different perspective each time they come.
So how many days is this year's event? Tell us about it.
It starts on Friday night. We set up camp. Saturday morning, we usually do a show, followed by a fun run, and then we gather back at camp to tell stories and do a community barbecue and
Some
Nissan
lies,
shenanigans
tell
all night.
stories, and just tell horsepower lies and everything else. It's like, yeah, it's all right. So
Yeah, it's really a good time.
So, what's the plan? How are you going to get to 10 years? How is that going to be looking like for the future? It seems like everything's growing because I watched it last year. I found your page and I just reached out to you in a blitz, and I'm like, hey, you got an event. I was somebody else. I knew your poster had come out, and I was like, let's talk about it. This is what we're about. We're all about a community here at the Nerd
Right.
Podcast. And I was like, let's promote it. I said, let's talk about it, man. So you've been doing it for 7 years now. You got a great event. What are your guys like? What's your staff like?
Slim.
What's the feeling?
It's very slim. Our local
everything starts off small.
our local crew has been in and out, up and down. You know, like most Nissan guys and Datsun guys. One season their car runs, the next season it doesn't. So there's just a handful of us that really put this together, and we really do manage to scrape up a really good crowd. Even last year with all the COVIDs going on and the last minute stuff, we still had 25 cars. Like that was
nice.
that was great. Our average is 40 to 60 cars and around 80 to 100 participants.
To get 40 or 60 Datsuns running at one particular time,
Yeah.
it's like the moon and the sun and the planets have to align at the same time. So, or you could all load them on one truck, one big 18-wheeler, and just bring them in like.
Yeah.
But now me and Mike are Datsun fanatics. We've got a lot of other Datsun fanatics on.
620
showing the love and spreading the love. And yeah, I really wanted to take a moment to kind of talk about your event and give you guys the at 7 years, you deserve the respect and the shout out for having and holding. Me and Mike have ran events in the past, and we know what it's like. And
Yeah.
we hope that this year is going to be a great event for you, and
Yeah.
we're definitely going to try to promote it for you as much as we possibly
Yes, we
can.
will. Yes, we will.
It really should be a great event. Our base camp is on private property this year, so we don't have to worry about getting kicked out or security coming by and saying, "Hey, you can't do that out here." So it's a good time.
Well,
Anyone
public
that'd like to
nakedness
attend,
is an issue.
yeah, for anyone that'd like to attend, I would highly encourage them to RSVP Dotson's Around Bend at gmail.com. Let us know you're coming. We've got t-shirts, stickers. It's a good time. It's $20 for camping, $5 for dinner. It's a really good event.
And you also have a great Facebook page, right? And are you
Oh,
inviting
thank
people
you.
to kind of log on and talk about that as well? You've been going with that for a number of years too, as well, right?
Yeah, 510 Bender's been in operation for about 8 years now. That's about how long I've had my 510. And it's kind of been, it started out the journey of my 510 and has moved into kind of this Datsun documentary. We have a term that we use called Datsuning done right. I cruise down to the Route 66 JDM show every year, from Bend, Oregon down to Williams, Arizona. And along the way, meet up with my buddy Patrick Smith of High Impact Motorsports out in Las Vegas. And we've always managed to sync up and have a good time with that too. So you can follow me at 510 Bendor on Facebook and Instagram.
Very cool, man.
Facebook
Well,
and
thank you
Instagram.
again for coming on for a few minutes to talk about it. We will have the information about that event at the end of this episode.
Yes,
We're also going to post it on our Nissan Nerd page as well. Hey, man, best of luck
Yeah.
this.
Excellent.
If I can get Mike
Dude.
D off his fat tail, we're coming next year. All right?
Excellent. Thank you,
That's
guys.
great,
I
man.
appreciate
Yes.
you having me on.
Of
Thanks
course,
for
man.
coming on, buddy. You have a good
Excellent.
Thanks
one.
so much, man. Yeah. Thanks,
Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Cheers. Oh man.
Very
Dude,
cool. Yeah, sorry, Mike. I didn't
7
want to drop a surprise on you, but 7 years. I
7
needed to be
years.
shouted out. Yeah.
That is definitely a feat because I mean, we did ours
We did Nissan Fiesta for a decade. Yeah.
after year 3 or typically it's year 3, you start to really question or you start asking yourself, okay, where is this going?
You question your life choices. Yeah.
But 7
Do
years,
I really want to keep doing this for another 5 or 10 years? Does anybody get any enjoyment out of this?
a lot of questions come into play, and obviously this guy's been through it just like us, and he's forging ahead. That is,
and
really
kudos to him, and I love to support the small business and the small community stuff, because if you don't, it doesn't exist. And these are the type of things we need to do to support these grassroots events. Again, we'll have all their information up on the website. Now from here, we need to take a break for a minute from events. I just wanted to feature that real quick.
Yes,
We got to talk about motorsports real quick, Mike.
we
So we
do.
got to go through the line of it. So
Okay.
Super GT, let me show you what I got going on for Super GTs.
Alrighty. Share your screen.
Booyakasha. Hit me.
There you
All right.
go. All right.
Unfortunately, in Super GT, not much really happened. We had our round 4 that we talked about. For those that don't remember, it was round 1, 2. Round 4 got thrown in before round 3 because of everything that was happening with COVID and the local Japanese, I would say the upper echelon basically shut it down for the area.
Yeah.
They basically put them on lockdown. So they went ahead with round 4. Round 3 for the Suzuka circuit is actually going to be set for the 21st of this month. So by the time the next episode come out, we'll be talking about the results from the Super GT, GT300, GT500 at Suzuka that are happening. But unfortunately right now, I don't got much for you other than that happened last time. If you want the results from from round 3, guess what? Round 4. I'm not going to give them to you because I gave them to you last time. So I'm not going to repeat myself. All right. So get off my back.
Okay,
Mike,
I got you.
But Mike, you got a lot going on. I know Formula E was a hell of a 2 drives. Boom, hit me. Talk about it.
Dude, it was a roller coaster. Okay, you want to get
It
into
was.
Formula E? Yes, it was.
Give me.
I'm gonna go ahead and let this play in the background as I typically like to do. This is what you're seeing here. For those of you on social media, is round 12. here in London. So yeah, round 12 and 13 of Formula E. This was a doubleheader night race. A pair of night races happening in London, July 24th and 25th. I believe this was maybe the second night race of the season. They're especially during the summer. It's so hot. It's very, very convenient. And this track, this may be a first, but it was partially indoors. If you look behind you, they're actually inside like a huge warehouse or a stadium. It's relatively low ceiling here, so I believe it's more of a warehouse. But I'm going to let this play in the background though. But round 12, let's talk about the Nissan EDAMS team. Of course, our two drivers, Sebastian Buemi and Oliver Rolland. Let's talk about Buemi first. Buemi did a very, very great start. He qualified in third place. And throughout the entire race, honestly, he defended that position wonderfully up until about the 12 minutes before the race ended. Essentially, he ended in P4, fourth place in his position, though. But consistent throughout the entire race, was really, really good at round 12. Now, Oliver Rolland, he qualified 21st. And essentially very consistently climbing up the ranks. You might even see here, he really is weaving through these other drivers, slowly creeping up. He actually made it up to P10.
Nice.
It was
Which
very,
is not
very good.
much for Rolland because he's been kind of dominating for the season for the
Yes.
most part.
Yes.
You know, and you know, they always say that your teammate is your first competitor, right? So it's just like, and Buemi's kind of been in, I wouldn't say he's been in the shadow because Buemi's definitely a seasoned driver. He's definitely the senior to Rolland because he's a fairly new driver to the season. So, I mean, it's kind of exciting to see Buemi, I wouldn't say coming out of his shell, but
Yeah.
doing what he does best. Because if you've ever seen him in action, like on his best drives, that guy can kick some tail. And I will say this, that you know, it didn't finish the way that we wanted it to, but I'll say it's not always how you win. It's sometimes it's the entire fight that you had in that series, and that was a hell of a drive for that one. I watched it. Go on.
It really was. Now here is the roller coaster part about round 12, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going.
This is so disheartening, though, man. But after finishing P4 and P10, Nissan essentially brought home 14 points to as a constructor for the first round here, round 12 of the weekend. However, both team drivers were disqualified for energy overuse. Again, this isn't the first time.
Does everybody hate us? Do they just hate Nissan at this thing? Because I swear to God, we always get slapped on the hands with this damn disqualify, or we use too much power. You know, they're always like, you use too much power, and we got to shut you down. Now, you don't see this going down in Formula, which is why people don't give you the respect that you need.
Now,
just
I did
suck it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I did find an article, Miles, that kind of try to figure out how is this happening again, right? I mean, not every team makes this error, you know, more than once in a given season. From what I've read, though, there was supposedly a software glitch in the car's program, and essentially,
it's called the gas pedal. All right.
Yeah, no. They said they literally they spent 1/100th of a kilowatt too much. It's this how much more that they spent. But rules are rules. They were disqualified, so they lost the 14 points that they would have taken home.
Conspiracy theories. I'm going to do all kinds of weird. You know how
they have it out for it, man. Yeah, right. People have it out for us.
They just don't like his face. That's it. That's it.
So, now, let's not forget.
Let's talk about this round. How did it finish out?
So overall, right. Well, essentially for round 12, the two drivers, Buemi and Rolland, were disqualified. Now, if you're referring to round 13, the following day, also a night race, Buemi qualified second. He had a collision early in the race, but he kept going. However, he did finish in P13. Now, Rolland
falling back that whole rain.
He really did. So you got to pretty well. Now, Rolland qualified 11th. Now he kept I'm sorry, he qualified second. I'm sorry, man. I got my two guys.
Yeah.
Round 13. Buemi qualified 11th and finished 13th. He did have that collision early in the race. Rolland qualified second, and he really was being very, very aggressive as a P2 position. He was really pushing the leader to get ahead. However, about 20 minutes left into the race, he did have a collision, essentially having a steering issue as a result. He was able to finish. However, he did get pushed all the way back into P18. So not very good. Both in round 13, both drivers essentially. Sorry about that. Both drivers essentially finished the race. They didn't overuse any power. However, they did not score any points. There were no points to be scored from Nissan.
Well, this late in the season, it's going to be what it's going to be at this point. We can actually just try to put our best foot forward. And, kudos to them. They're still doing a great job. It hasn't been the worst season. And I'll take it. We're still a really good, strong presence on the field. So, hey, it is what it is. So I'm going to take the lead from this point, Mike. The Sentra Micro Cup Series that's going down in Canada. We've been talking about this for a hot minute. So you and I saw the first and second. We talked about it on the last episode. Let me share a little something with you. But I was expecting a lot of the results. I was expecting new videos, everything to come on the social media network. But guess what? We didn't get nothing, man. I've been searching high and low for round 3 and 4 that just dropped for the Central Micro Cup. Excuse me, the Central and the Micro Cup Series. I got nothing other than the results. So guess what? You're gonna have to go back and watch the last episode again, and if you want to watch some footage, and then maybe by the next time we do this, maybe I'll have some footage from round 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'll owe you one, Nissan nerds. All right, but let me at least go through the round 3 and 4. July 24th, July 25th, with last round that went through was at Circuit Mont Tremblant. Yeah, I didn't take any French class in high school.
Wow.
Rocked it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how the class went down. Let's see here in round. Oh, God. I just got out of what I wanted to get into. Hold on. All right. The results, and I'm just going to give you the Centra Cup results that came out this last time. Surprisingly, and I'm going to show you an interesting result here, Mike. So round 3, the top place driver was a Jesse Lazar, and I want you to keep your eye on something here. Kevin King came in second, had the best time lap for round 3. All right. Round 4, which was the next day, because these are consecutive back-to-backs. Round 4 was Jesse Lazar. He took first place, but Kevin King came up in second lap. Now, I started to look at that, and I was like, how is he doing on points? Round 1, Kevin King had the best lap, and he was in second place. Round 2, Kevin King, best lap, and he was in second place. So I'm like, how are these guys standing right now overall, right? Kevin King, second place consecutively and best lap. All 4 races, he's at the top of the leaderboard for the driver points.
Interesting.
Yeah, Gabriel and LMP Apparel.
Yeah. And you said Jay Lazar?
And that is Kevin King. Well, Jay Lazar run first place. So right now it's going to be a pretty strong fight for the points coming up in round. That's going to be round 5 and 6. So you've got Jesse Lazar in the Door Doctor Motorsports in action, Sentra, and then Gavin Sanders. Keep an eye on him too. In the Fat Bastard Burrito GS.
What a name! What a name!
Hell of a name. All right. Kudos to him. We'll try to keep you updated on the next event that comes out for that. Fat Bastard.
That's pretty
Burrito.
cool. Now, I see a rivalry happening here, man. I mean, granted, it's still so early in the season, but hey, it's very clear what's happening. Who's coming out on top. So,
yeah, you can continue to check out the event and the page. Hopefully, they'll start dropping some social media stuff here soon at the YouTube/Microcup TV or CentraCup.com. Now, Now, I think we're getting into a special segment. At this point, Mike, staying on task, staying on time. I think we got ourselves a little point in
Hmm.
the show where we need to talk about the shut up and take my money. Is that about right?
Yes, it is.
More money.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Woo!
we got some new products for you that we found on the interwebs that we think you guys might be interested in. All right.
Shut up and take my money.
I have the first one, don't I?
Yes, you do have the first one. Show me
All right.
what you got.
Now, this one I want to show you guys is very exciting. We'll get into it some more here. Now, this seems to be a project that's been ongoing that is finally making its way in very limited quantities into the market. It's going to be a fairly complex sale, but it can be done. And let's talk about it here. So we're going to be talking about the Datsun Works KN20 dual overhead cam cylinder head for the L series Datsun
Yeah, we just saw this
S30
come out.
240s.
Yeah, this just came out here
Yes.
recently, at least as far as we know. And
Yes.
yeah, me and Mike both caught wind of this at the same time, and we
Mhm.
thought it was pretty damn cool. So, Mike,
Yes.
give me the deets. Shoot
Give you
me.
the. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here in the back here. Let's go for it. Details here. So I've shared a few pictures. So this project has been under development for a very, very long time. Essentially, this is a dual overhead cam for the L series engine. I think for those who know, the L series engine was always a single overhead cam engine. Now there have been manufacturers in the past that have offered a dual overhead cam head for this engine. It's quite a bit of engineering to convert from a single overhead cam to a dual overhead cam. Previously, the company that had been able to do it was the OS Gaiken out of Japan. A very amazing build. I think you can see it here. Now, it's very, very expensive. It's beautiful to look at, and it's got a, very beautiful to look at, but it's very expensive. If you look here at the bottom, 6.2 million yen, which is actually about $57,000 US. $57,000 you can convert your your single cam L engine to a dual overhead cam. I don't know about you, Miles, but that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's kidney selling money right there. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
definitely. I
Now,
remember I saw the original head, and there was a dual overhead cam, and I know we're gonna nerd out for just a quick
yes, we
second. This
are.
wasn't the always geeking head. To the best of my knowledge, was not the first head to ever be a dual overhead cam. There was an option that was available in Japan for a few people that were out there. Rocky Auto had them
Hmm.
magically from time to time. You had places like Ultimate Z Garage got them from time to time, but they were few and far between, and they were basically hen's teeth if you could find them, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
then we were craving them for the longest time, best part of 12 years, Mike, I think. So then we
Long
got
time.
wind of the OS Geekin one, but then we're like, great, we got the OS Geekin one. And then they're just like, well, hold your horses there, Chief. We're gonna take your legs out from underneath you.
Yeah.
And we were just like, God damn, OS Geekin, you raped me on your clutches. Now you're raping me on your head. It is an amazing
Right.
product, but only drug lords and uber wealthy people that shoot their kids into space right now for
Yes.
fun are can purchase something like that. For the common man like us, we
Hmm.
probably ain't going to be able to afford it. But
Now,
I
yep.
heard the price point on this stuff is closer to
Don't say it. Don't say it.
ah, ah,
It's
hit
my
me.
article, not yours, isn't it? Damn it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, that's right. Okay, yes. So we mentioned OS Gaiken in the first place just to tell you what it's been like for the last 5-10 years to get a dual overhead cam engine for the L series motor. Now, Datsun Works has come in with their version, which we're talking about now. Now, this head, I've got a series of pictures I want to share with you guys. Anyway, let's go for it. Essentially, it was first of all, it began as a model. Essentially deriving its design techniques from a Honda K20 engine. Surprisingly, now Nissan aside, the Honda K20 engine is very capable, a good benchmark. So it was their choice to do that. Uh, Getting into it here, next pictures, you start seeing more of the CAD work that went through into this project. So you see here a CAD of the valve covers and cylinder head. Here you're looking at what's actually happening, what they're doing. They're taking that timing chain from a single overhead cam and made a custom sprocket. And then with the camshaft sprockets, they're actually from Tomei. This kit has Tomei sprockets here. And essentially, that's that conversion to dual overhead cam. Let's move it a little bit forward here.
It does feel very Honda-ish.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
You're an ex-Honda person. Oh, I shouldn't
yes.
say that because if we are ever at an event, you're probably going to get hung. But guess what? I could use a new co-host. But anyway, it does feel very Honda-ish looking at it. I mean, it's kind of masked in this really cool valve cover. But all right, I'm going to stop talking. Your article, go.
Now let's just say this. Now here is the kit that you're seeing here. This is from Datsun Works. They currently have two daily driven 240Zs that are essentially trialing their this kit, doing amazingly well. Now to let you know, this kit's currently they're making 492 horsepower at 8,000 RPMs with this kit. Amazing numbers. This is all motor, dude. All motor.
I'll take that Honda engine.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. 360 pound-feet of torque. That's at 6,000 RPMs. Now, let's just put this into comparison. The factory L28 engine was making 171 horses at 5,600 RPMs and 163 pounds of torque. So this is well over 2 times as much horsepower that you're getting. I mean, this is, and it's daily drivable. You can actually drive this thing on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm gonna quote Lance from Fast and the Furious. Somebody put in the range time. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, though. I will say that that's a hell of a development if the numbers are true. I mean, cool.
Yes. Now, okay, so now we've mentioned where it came from. We mentioned the horsepower differences. We know this is going to be a limited production. Now, let me say this. Let's get into the price, Miles. You mentioned how much?
Right,
how much?
Hit me with the number. How much would I pay for this? Is that what you're gonna do?
Yes. How much would you pay for this? You personally.
I was always bad at prices right. I'm gonna say, and I'm not trying to act like I'm a rich person by saying this big number right now, but I can tell you just from experience and seeing things that roll down the line, I'm gonna say the 12,000 mark.
You can say 12. That's pretty decent. I mean, you got to think about it. It's machine low volume cast, still machine heads, cams, and all that. 12,000. Now let's just compare.
Materials are destroyed right now because of COVID. So God, we're nerding.
You got a premium because of materials, right?
All right, hit me.
So instead of the $57,000 OS Geiking kit, you can get a very similar and very capable kit from Datsun Works for the low price of $15,000 US. That is a 75% savings, comparatively speaking. Still rather high, but if I had the money, man, yeah.
I wish I had a Sanford and Son thing because I'd be like, I'm coming, Louise. I wish I had that, but yeah, it's still a little out of the. What is it? What do they always say? That competition drives price. So maybe somebody else is out there working on a similar thing to where we start getting to where Miles's 10 to 12,000 price range would probably be where it needs to be. I think if you price this realistically at 10, 12.
Well, right. And then, granted, at least on my radar, as a actual product offering from a company, this is to me like the second or third offering. I mean, and this is well over. It's 50 years since the engine debuted. So I mean, I can't imagine there being much more developers. I mean, if they do, yes, definitely cut down that price. Okay. $15,000 again, 75% less than the nearest competitor, at least from what we could tell here on our radar. Yes, still very much a lot of money, cool. And that's just for the head. That's not including the block or the car, for God's sake. But
for that S30 chassis with a bunch of holes in it, and it's just like, kill me, weld new metal into me, please. Anyway, stop drifting me. Anyway,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So with its poor arthritic sheet metal from 19 blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, kudos, nice find, man.
yeah.
We talked about it. I have something else too that I would also like to share with you.
Okay.
All
What
right.
about
Now,
your turn?
I
What do you
found
got?
something too for shut up and take my money as well.
Okay.
This is not quite as expensive, but something that was pretty cool. This product comes out. Mike, give me the steering wheel. This
Okay.
actually came out from Harmon Restoration. They've been making a few little cutesy things from here and there, but they actually dropped something out that I thought was pretty darn cool the other day, and it was a plug and play Emblem churn signal LED kit. And you're like, what is that about? So check it out.
That's
So it's
pretty
actually a
fancy.
turn signal that's built into the little vent panel that's there on the S30s in the Z emblem that's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Looks pretty
pretty
good.
cool, man.
Now,
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I mean, you're taking modern turn signal, fashion. I mean, the 350Z didn't have turn signals in the emblem. The 370 did. So you're kind of taking that 370Z sort of approach uh, and putting it there on the C pillar, the turn signal. That looks pretty fancy, and it's a plug and play, no
It is
soldering,
plug and play.
nothing major. That's a hell of a deal.
Yep, yep. I think it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it's just something small and detailed. Some will say it's not a purist thing, and you can wrestle with that. And then some people will say, hey, you know what? It's bringing modern advancement to it. And the insurance adjuster in me is going to say, hey, you know what? It's another level of safety. Screw it, I'll take it. Now, whether it's legal or not, that far behind the driver's window, I couldn't tell you, but it is something pretty damn cool. And at the price point that it's coming in at,
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
$15,000. thousand
Uh,
dollars
Not $15,000. Go a little lower.
Nine
Um,
hundred. Go
Move
ahead.
your
Go ahead.
decibels around. It's actually $150 shipped, and
Woo!
yeah,
Not
so
bad.
it's not bad. But look at the kit with what you get, and then you'll get an idea of what it's at. You can check it out at Harmon Restoration. I found them on Facebook. With any type of monkey pushing on keep buttons, you should be able to find them through the Facebook channel. Let them know that we sent you. There's no discount.
There's no discount.
But no Nissan Nerd discount. But yeah, kudos. So yeah, that was everything that I had for it. Now you and me, actually, we haven't done one of these in a while where we talked about a car feature.
Yes.
And you and I talked about it, and we're like, "Hey, do you want to do a car feature? We haven't done a really cool one in a while." You found one, and I found one,
Yep.
and collectively they were almost the same one. We were in the same model series because
Hmm.
we're jonesing for one of these cars. Mike, take it away.
I am. I am. Now, I was thinking about it. I am a big fan of this car, and I'm really surprised I haven't mentioned it as much on this podcast before. But and the thing is, though, not very many people know about this car. And what I'm talking about here is the Nissan Pulsar GTIR. It wasn't sold in the States, essentially Japan, maybe Europe. But imagine, again, if you can see here on the screen, imagine a two-door hatch that is, first of all, very lightweight, turbocharged, all-wheel drive, and generally unassuming. I mean, at least with granted, the feature we have here is pretty pretty
And
bold,
that's in stock
but
trim, right? Yeah.
but
Well,
that is a
this
factory
model,
hood. Yes, factory hood, factory rear spoiler.
yeah, and this model's in stock trim. It's already an impressive car, but this particular build itself, and you can find this through Super Street. Motor Trend just happened to feature and lift one of Super Street's articles. But we found
Yes,
this. We found this one, and we thought it was pretty cool. We wanted to kind of talk about it. Mike,
did.
give us the options list. Come on, what do
Options
you
list. All right, all right. So, on this build specifically, this car can actually be found in Thailand. The owner of this car also owns a shop called Monster Fixed Garage in Thailand. Now, what you're seeing here, first thing is the body kits. This is not just a body kit that you can just buy anywhere. Essentially, there is an aero firm, they call it, in Thailand called 25-1, and that is the company that helped essentially develop and build this body kit. Um, What else? There's on, and this, by the way, you're not going to see very many of these cars, much less in this condition. The Pulsar hatch in general, they only made 15,000 units, much less a GTIR, this all-wheel drive turbo beast. Obviously much less than that. I'm going to go through these pictures here, but yeah, getting into the spec list, we're looking at TE37 wheels. They are 15 by 8s all the way around. They are fitted with some Advan rubber. Up in front, brakes in general, Project Mu brakes. I believe you got 6-pot in the front, 4 in the rear, which you don't really see here in the United States. I think we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we were
Project
talking about
Mu.
Project Moo, and
Yeah.
you haven't seen them in the last year. It seems like they're finally starting to push out to distributors.
Yep.
Josh Martin, who's been on the show previously, and he's a good friend of ours from JDM Garage,
Mhm.
JDM Legends. Sorry.
Mhm.
He was talking about how it's a pretty well developed caliber and braking system, and that they're finally starting to break out and be more readily available here in the States. And I've seen his post where he's starting to see a lot of those come through his new shop that he's at right now. So yeah, kudos. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I've seen their stuff come through from time to time.
Yeah.
I've never heard a bad thing about them.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe it's if anybody has any input on Project Muse calibers, let us know. I mean, we're starting to raise an eyebrow about them.
Yep. Moving on with the specs, though, Miles. We're looking at teen HR coilovers. We do have
Nice.
a Cusco bolt-in roll cage, and if these pictures will load,
Guys rocking a
we have
big
got a
diameter caliber down there.
beautiful. I think it's beautifully gutted interior. I mean,
Beautifully
obviously,
gutted.
that is a term. I really think that is real. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, granted, it still has a headliner of all things. So look at that. But
Well, you gotta have
whatever's
a
not
headliner,
covered,
right?
it's
So.
yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's
But I mean, that's the thing.
painted.
To gut a car like this, a lot of people who've never gutted a car, you pull a car out, like you gut it, and you're just like, you're thinking that you're going to have paint beautifully as outside as it is inside. Guess what? It's just not
Nope.
the facts of it. You still got sound deadener, you got all the loose change and the boogers and the French fries and everything as you start to lift up the carpet. If you've ever had to gut a complete car to turn into a race car or to get it at this level, guess what? There's a lot of work that goes into it. And you can see all the attention to detail that they've kind of done in this car, which is why me and Mike, we don't just always give a little high five on every single car, but
Yep.
there's a lot of attention to detail. I mean, this little bolt-in cage that's in here it's a bolt-in cage, but it's well done. So they've gone through to all the details to cut the weight, probably
Hmm.
balance it out, and just make a nice a street track strip vehicle. I mean,
Yep.
this is just what I like to see. It's kind of synonymous with Super Street over the last 5 years, but
Yep.
it's just something we thought was pretty damn cool to
Yep.
have something that's an SR20 all-wheel drive. I mean, it's kind of an ass kicker, which is what do they used to call these baby Godzillas?
Baby Godzilla. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Now, actually, our good friend here, Aman, did have
of
a
course.
comment here, which says, of course, the GTR, this car that we're talking about, has a history with rallycross. Actually, this GTIR, essentially, it was built to meet production requirements to compete in World Rallycross. Um, Essentially that baby Godzilla you're talking about is of course deriving from the R32 Skyline that they were competing with, or even the R33 Skyline that they were competing with at the time. These things actually use the same all-wheel drive system, the Atessa all-wheel drive, same as the Skyline that was used in this hatch. One other thing I wanted to mention too, at least about this gutted shell of a car, is that factory weight on this thing was 2,600 pounds, which is light to begin with.
Yeah.
Now, much less gutting this thing out, you're oh man, you're super light. I mean, I'd say
Well, you're
a couple
replacing
hundred
panels,
pounds.
some carbon fibre panels. So to go
Yep.
down to what are we talking? What's the curb weight on this thing right now?
The specific number was not given. Now, I think personally, I would think it's probably definitely. Oh God,
I'm gonna
2,300.
say two. I'm gonna say 250, probably for a cut. Maybe 300 if he went a little crazy. I mean, it looks like there's a lot gone out of that car.
Yep.
But yeah, kudos to him. I think it's just well executed.
Yep.
I'm gonna say around 300 pounds cut out of that car.
300
plus the weight
pounds.
it's putting on. I bet that thing's a beast, and it screams.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those cars that demands your attention as you're driving it. So yeah, kudos.
Now, this engine build you're looking at here, though, of course, it is fitted out with June sleeves, Eagle rods, HKS GT3540 turbo. You got exhaust manifold from Gretty,
Yeah.
and you got AEM electronics and a HKS FCON system. Now, the factory SR20, this is SR20 engine, by the way. The factory SR20 gave out 227 horsepower from the factory. This one you're looking at here is pushing out 500 horsepower, all-wheel drive. Combine that with that weight, that super low weight. This thing, like you said, it is a beast, man.
They changed out the distributor system on this. You're rocking different spark, those coil packs from AEM. I know those are AEM coil packs. I can just tell. They're rocking the spacer on that that intake. I mean, there's a lot going on here if you really know what you're looking at. So kudos. Yeah, I think
they
it's
said,
pretty cool, man.
They said the engine is worth. I mean, first of all, 500 horsepower coming from a 4-cylinder engine is amazing to begin with. They said that the engine can take more, but what they're working on right now,
until they're crying in the corner at the dyno.
Well, what they're saying right now is that the weak link right now is the all-wheel drive transmission. They need to upgrade that transmission. Being all-wheel drive, first of all, parts aren't as plentiful. Much less trying to find upgraded parts. So a lot of that stuff they're probably doing themselves. But you know what? 500 horsepower in a car, again, like I said, 2,300 pounds. It is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I will say that, man. Good find. I mean, both of us kind of agreed on this one as a feature car. We both loved it. We like the car. We never see them. Maybe one of these days you and I will be cool enough to actually purchase one of these. Let's go to comments.
I would love to.
Amon, of course, with his big brain.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Always has all the data. He is a huge nerd. We got to get him on one of the shows just to be a guest one of these days.
That'd be
of course,
fun.
He's talking to the SR20 all-wheel drive. Of course, he knew that already. Rocking 500 horsepower, Hurst. So yeah. Cool.
So obviously, for Amon, this is not the first time. We're not introducing him to anything new. He's seen this before.
He's seen everything.
He's the one nerding out with us.
Just so he could take us out of business, or just join us, Justice League. Like that. He just needs to join the evil Justice League over here that we got going on. So moving on, very cool article. Again, we got to go through events, Mike, just so we can run through. We've got a lot going on. The next event is actually a pretty cool event. I think we're going to attend this next event, right? And it's coming up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, of course. We're talking about ZCon happening in Colorado Springs. Miles, we're a week and a half away. Actually, a week and 2 days, away from driving out. We're gonna be spending a whole 9 or 10 days making a quick stop in Albuquerque, and then on our way up to Colorado Springs for a week. I'm excited.
I plan on taking you to a lot of establishments between here in Colorado Springs because I know that country driving through. I know every ill-advised establishment, places of ill repute, and a nice place you can get a really bad tattoo. We can. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do some zip lining. We're gonna go up mountains. We're gonna scale buildings. We're gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff.
You don't plan on proposing, do you? It's pretty loaded, man. I'm not a date here, bro.
Let's just talk about a couple things. I could do much better. All right. Let's talk about what
You have a beautiful family, man. Don't risk it for me.
I'm an alpha. I am definitely I'm a hot 7. All right, Mike. All right. You are like a bathroom fetus 5. All right.
Great. Thank you.
A prom fetus 5. All right.
You're telling me things I already know.
Moving along, let's talk about the econ that we got coming up. Jesus Christ. All right.
Again, Colorado Springs happening August 16th to the 21st. For any of those, essentially, for those who have made plans, we definitely will be out there. Feel free to come up and say hey if you spot us. Miles, I know we plan on making a number of live streams throughout the week. We've bought some equipment actually to hopefully help us do that. So I'm actually excited. For those who are watching, definitely, or listening even, look forward to some impromptu live streams through our
True.
Facebook channel. And I'm going to do my best, time permitting, to actually load them into our podcast networks as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A bunch of quick edits. What do you call, like 5-minute little skits or 5-minute recaps of the day. So we'll have some fun with that, though. Yeah. So moving on.
We've talked about ZCon till we're blue in the face.
We
If
really
you don't
have.
already know about it, you need to attend. And we're not going to go over too many details, but again, we're 2 weeks away. If you haven't already registered, you need to zcon.org. Look at everything that's out there. We've already talked about it. God, since its inception, we'll be there. That's
Yeah.
a good enough reason for you to attend.
There you go. There you go. Moving on, the next event that actually taking place after ZCon is actually the week after, and this is who actually was able to join us today. Dotson's Around the Bend. You tell us what was his name again? Yeah.
Actually, that was a 5-ton Bendor, Bendor. And
Yeah.
again, they just kind of came on to talk about Dotson's Around the Bend. Again, August 27th to August 29th.
Cool.
You can check them out at Around the Bend on their Facebook page. We'll have
There
their
you go.
information at the end of this. So, yeah, we've got that coming up. And then, Mike, we've got, I think, is Nats coming right around the corner?
Yes. So after that's happening October 8th and 9th, not along the East Coast. If you're in the Atlanta area, Northwest Georgia area, we're talking about Z Nationals. Znationals.com for more information, though. But this is a 2-day event. It's hosted by our friends at Z1 Motorsports. I think at this point, if you've owned any generation of Z from 1990 to current, or Q for that matter, or even Titans nowadays, if you're a truck owner, you've probably heard of Z1 Motorsports. They've got a brand new facility. Remodeled, a huge addition or expansion to their facility. This is actually part of the event. They're having essentially an opening ceremony as part of Z Nationals that weekend. Again, 2-day event. First day is a track day at Road Atlanta. Second day is that open house opening ceremony at Z1's remodeled facility. If you are interested in the track day, we very, very much encourage you to book ASAP at this point. Track day is the first thing that gets sold out. So if you're remotely interested, book it now. Ask questions later. Z Nationals, October 8th and 9th.
All right. And the next event that we've got coming out is the 16th annual Japanese Classic Car Show. Again, this will be Saturday, October 30th at the Marina Green Park, Long Beach, California. This is a traditional Southern California Japanese car culture event that's been going on for a number of years, obviously for 16 years. Me and Mike have talked about this for a long time. Again, it's probably on our wish list. I've been there. I need to take Mike there. We just need to go, and it's some of the cleanest. It's not a solely Nissan event, but this is usually a configuration between Mitsubishi, Mazda, Toyotas, and Nissans primarily make up the pack there. But again, amazing feature cars, builds, great sponsors that have been in the limelight for a long time, and there's some really great special guests that typically attend, like JDM Legends, Diana Cray, who has been on the show, who was oh my God,
Ken and
Mary from the Ken and Mary events, and then Larry Chin usually attends this event and gives us some documentation from it from Speed Hunters, the legendary photographer. So yeah, very cool event. Again, that is coming on October 30th. Probably put it on your list. If you are on the West Coast, you probably want to go check that out. So West Coast.
All right, of course, we got one more for you guys in terms of events. This is a touring car show happening 6 different locations across the country. It ranges from Northern California, Chicago, Austin, Connecticut, Southern California. If any of these dates here are near you, and if you can make it, we're talking about Radwood. Radwood is a car show that specializes or focuses on cars manufactured and sold from 1980 to 1999. So that's us, Miles. I know we both got Z32s. I've been to one before here in Austin.
Yeah.
A great time. I still have my shirt somewhere. I wear pretty regularly, but essentially
Yeah, I think you and I are going to try to make there's an Austin branch of this that's happening,
Yep.
October 9th or something?
October 9th, same weekend as Z
October 9th.
Nationals. We're gonna try. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to make Z-Nats. I mean, we're either going one or the other. So we'll
Yeah.
either make Radwood or making Z-Nats this year,
Yep.
depending on what we can make happen. So
Absolutely. Then not only is this a car show, this really is an opportunity. You can see here in the pictures, it really becomes an 80s party or 90s party. Dress up. I not only are the cars fun to look at throughout the show, you got a lot of guys that really they go all out. They'll put a bunch of VHSs in the car or any other type of trinket that makes you think of 1980s and 1990s
a brick of
culture.
cocaine in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Well, even the brick phone, or things like that. So it's
See,
a
I like
lot
the
of
way
fun.
see, I went NC-17 and you took it right back to PG. Good kudos for you.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is why I got you.
Damage
This is why I
control.
keep you
Damage
around.
control.
This is what damage control. This is why I keep you. But again, I think Mike and myself want to commend this event, and we both like it, just like the JCCS. These are one of those events that you should definitely attend, definitely promote. It keeps a positive car culture going on. So yeah.
Absolutely. Radwood.com, by the way, guys. If you want to look it up, they'll tell you which date is
Yep.
happening near you.
Yes. Well, Mike, I mean, we've done a lot. What are we looking like on time? Hour and 20 minutes.
We really started this episode just right out of the gate. Boom, boom, boom. Hit it hard and fast. Now we're getting to a point where we're at that hour 20 right now. So we're pretty much back on schedule
And
with,
we added
with all
more
our
stuff
others.
in. We added more
Yeah.
stuff in. We threw extra stuff on top of that. We gave you a little bit of nitro boosts, and here we are, boom, coming at you with even more, packing it in even tighter, more condensed.
Yep.
But I thought we did a pretty good episode this night. I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but anyway, we want to talk about the community a little bit. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to everything that we're doing here at Nissan Nerd Podcast. We take donations, we take personal affection, but we'll take anything that we can get. We hope to see you guys when we're out and about. If you make it to ZCon this year, come up to us, give us a little hug, give Mike a kiss on the cheek. He likes that kind of thing. So you can check us out. Contact us at info@nissannerd.com. Let us know about events that are happening in your area. Again, no event too small, just like Around the Bend. They are a small event, but they've been doing it for 7 years. If you've got an event in your neighborhood and your area and you want to talk about it, let us know. If you're a new club starting off, let us know. We don't have a problem promoting it. We don't have a problem talking about it. So again, support us. We will support you out there, everybody.
Yes, man. That's it. That seems to do it there. Again, yeah, like you said, our Facebook page seems to be the most of our traffic currently. We are working to grow our Instagram and not so much the Twitter. It is there, by the way, but
our Facebook page is much more better than our MySpace page.
Yeah, MySpace. Of course, online we do have a YouTube channel, so of course you're seeing these videos are always posted on our Facebook timeline. However, if you just want to go through our entire catalog at your leisure, all the videos are in one spot. Go to our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe there as well. Again, contact us however you can. We do have an email, info, like you said, Miles, info@nissannerd.com.
Good job,
let us
Mike.
know what's going on, man. Yeah.
Well, I want to tell everybody out there, thank you again for attending. I want to thank everybody that came on with us here live tonight.
Thank you.
Amon, always a pleasure.
Uh-huh.
Legendary Nissan nerd out there. I'm going to give him a little. I'm going to give kudos to Sean Buck and all my other boys and gals that showed up tonight to give us some love.
The sex
Kudos
robot
to you,
boys.
the sex robot boys, for coming on and having a good time with us tonight. I want to tell everybody out there, if you're putting us on in your garage like you should be doing, get in your garage, make something cool, do something cool.
All right, Miles, what do you got left in front of you, by the way, here? Let's say kanpai. Let's wrap this one out. Woo! Kanpai!
And that is it. Go home. Do something.
Let's get this.
My name is Jeff.
So I don't know. Oh, are you still on with this?
Surprise!
He's on mute. You got him on
Oh, you're on
mute.
mute. Oh, hold on. Can you hear
Free
us?
him. Free
Yo.
him. Can you
Oh,
hear
hey,
us?
guys.
What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Oh, I figured I'd stick around and watch the show.
Thanks, man.
Oh my God. So, all right, this is your first experience with us. Don't give me feedback because I'm a professional, but give Mike feedback. He needs it. So,
No, that was a good time. So give you a little backstory. My buddy and I, Patrick Smith, down there at High Impact Motorsports, we do live videos on our personal Facebook feeds. And at one point, for a while there, we were going back and forth, and we took the Dotsoning done right, and we were kind of trying to elevate that a little bit and turn it into a thing. And we'd go on live together and do Dotsoning done right live on Facebook. We did probably 20 episodes of that,
nice.
and just kind of having fun, sharing our experiences of like what is Dotsoning done right. You know, what are these types of adventures that come about from a car breaking down on the side of the road and having 5 different friends with you and scrapping together some parts and making it to the destination without a tow truck. Like that's Dotsoning done right for us. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see other people doing this, and I wish I'd have known about you guys sooner.
That's
That's
awesome,
all right,
man.
We're slowly. It's a weird thing. It's like that's the beautiful thing about like the podcast. It's definitely a really niche thing. So like you either have people that you're gonna get that are fanatics like the rest of us, and
Mhm.
once they're in with us, I mean their community, it's family. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've ever gone to a really good event, you're like, it wasn't a big event, but I'll tell you what, you felt like you can. There's a difference between you going to an event and some guys like, that's a pretty cool Datsun. What is that, a 510? But there's a difference
Yeah.
between you going up to a couple guys like them was like, dude, that's a 510. Oh, you got the 2-door? Damn, like versus the 4. Oh my God. What are you putting
Yeah.
in the engine? Oh wow, you kept it all stock. All right, cool. Oh, you got the
Yeah.
original seats. Oh, that man. Fuck.
Yeah.
And
What
that's
no-
where the
yeah.
nerddom
What
comes
head
out.
code do you have? What's the code on the head? Yeah, that's a big one for the L20s and stuff. Yeah.
This is a stock color. Is
Is
that
it
the
a-
original color?
is it a peanut head or is it a
Yes,
yeah?
it's a
Oh
peanut
my
head.
God,
It's ported. It's polished. I've got a
it's really cool,
highly
but you don't have that. But
Yeah.
your 10 millimeters that run along your fender liner, that's not the original 10 millimeter. You're just like,
right.
dude, I'm telling you, we nerd out. But that's the whole point. It's like nobody else understands our addiction like other people that are at that
This
level
guy
with us.
gets it, man. Yeah. No, it's kind of
Oh,
cool, man.
I do.
Yeah, it's
So
cool, man. Being on the West
we
Coast.
hope we put a little in your we refilled your shotgun for the upcoming years. We brought up your juvenation for keeping that event going alive, because we understand. Me and Mike, we started pretty much for the most part. We started Nismo Fiesta, and we did that for 10 years, and we were just like, we wanted to grow organically, so we came out with this event. And so when we see folks like yourself that have been doing it for 7 years with little to no love, and just you did it by all grit, kudos, man. Very good.
Well, thank
Kudos,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Yeah.
staying on with this, and we'll definitely promote the event. And it's a serious thing, man. But we'll try to make it out for next year, and we'll just
Cool.
we'll try to drive up or fly on it. Mike's got a 620. I got a 620. We're
There
620.
you go.
That would be fun, man. A 620 cruise out to West Coast, Oregon, dude.
If we can make it all the way out there, yeah, great. So we gotta climb up.
That's the adventure. Yeah,
Just-
yeah. Carb jets, bring
Right.
some carb jets and a fuel mixture.
Bring
And
car jets. Bring an extra tranny.
yeah,
All right. Well, you ever
man.
want to include a little Datsun nerd set? Feel free to hit me up. I'd love to come back on
we
the show
will, man.
sometime.
We might have you jump on. So
Cool, man.
well, damn it, we'll nerd out. We'll bring on you. We got lots of people like Amon and other guys that are just like amazing like wealths of knowledge. And it goes above nerddom. They're just amazing individuals that are on the planet that are just at that level, like above us, like yourself. I mean, kudos, man. So
Excellent.
great event. Like I said, thanks again for supporting us. Thanks for letting us talk about your event. Appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me. We'll see you guys
so much,
next time.
man.
Anytime, man. We'll see you around.
Good time, guys. We'll see you too, guys, later on. Next week, Nissan Nerd Podcast. Give us about 2 weeks. We'll be there.
We'll be
All
live.
right.
We'll be live.
Live. That's right. ZCon. You'll see us next live
Road
at
trip.
ZCon.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Road
Lots
trip.
of shenanigans.
Road trip. Road trip. Road trip.